Straight to it.
I love that moment of when they're about to clash whip and
Yeah.
axe. It any other person would have cut it right there,
Hmm.
but like the
Oh yeah.
fact that we do see them and no, it's a fight.
Yeah.
Duran is gonna lose, but it's gonna be a fight.
Hmm. And I guess if I love the flash also when the Balrog hits the axe with the Mithril, just it doesn't break that easy. It will go. But then just finishing up with the dwarves, it's okay. This happened, unfortunately. Let's go help the elves. And this is like, oh, you gotta wait. Now that your father's dead, the other dwarf kings, the other dwarf lords, they want to take over. They don't trust you. They don't want to put their faith in you. Your brother is already gaining support. I'm over here like, wait, he has a brother? Where's this coming from? And then he looks at the rings. Is there a chance he promised this that he wouldn't use them? Season 3, season 4, and I don't remember anything about the lore at this point. Do you think he might use a ring to?
So I was
Yeah.
gonna say that the last episode had us so excited in my show that Tony and I had our copies of Lord of the Rings open and we were going through the
Wow.
appendixes while we were, and then at the end, so I kind of spoiled myself on a couple things coming up, so I'm not really gonna comment on the rings thing. It's
Okay.
interesting that it was framed that way, and we'll see they have changed things, so
Yeah.
it's always been in the service to the story, so we'll see what's gonna happen. I hope he doesn't. That's all I'll say.
I'll say he doesn't, or if he might wear it for an episode or something, and I think Disa brings him back. It doesn't get to that point that King Durin was. And I read the Silmarillion last year. I've read the appendices, but there's so much information. I don't remember. And like you said, they'll change things. Is another thing why fans of Lord of the Rings complain so much. It's an adaptation. It doesn't need to be a one-for-one retelling of the same thing, which is why, real quick, to Star Wars, even though I say, oh, I want a movie of this book or that book, I don't know. They'll have to change things, and it's just people are just gonna complain too much.
Just in that line, like if you read the appendices, there's a timeline of what happens. If you look at it, the fall of Eregion happens way later.
Gandalf is 1,000 years from coming into Middle Earth.
When that happens, the one ring has been forged years beforehand. So like, yeah, they're changing it for the purposes of the story.
Yeah, and it's working. At least for us, it's working.
Yep.
So one thing that I wouldn't mind if it got its own show is the Numenor plotline. That politics side of Numenor is
You've been hearing to the podcast. You've been listening to the podcast.
I didn't listen this week. I'll get it. But it's last 2 weeks and this week. And then by the end of this episode, I just want to spend a lot of time in Numenor and not in Pelargir. Fucking Kremen, they want to just wrangle his neck.
I want a political show there. Like,
you could.
Machinations of everything that's happening.
And you easily could. There's so much there. And great thing about Lord of the Rings, there's like 5,000 years of story. You can go. It doesn't have to be now. You can be. But of course, freaking, I just forgot his name of the new king.
Pharazôn,
Tor Pharazôn. Oh, because he's a freaking sore loser. Finds, I don't know where he got that scroll that he probably handwritten. Oh no, actually, the Queen of the Sea was held by Sauron. I saw it in the Palantir that I won't tell you that I used, because that's why we kicked the old queen out. Everyone's a traitor. All the faithful are traitor. They start wrangling people up. Unfortunately, we've seen that before. But then it goes to our favorite petty lord in Erendil talking with the Queen of the Sea.
That's the king.
Just that, sorry?
That's the king you're talking about.
Yeah. He got the sword. The king finally. I thought every time he gets a new sword from season 1, wait, is that Narsil?
He's on his way to that Lord of the Rings prologue.
Oh man, that's how the show has to end, right? That final battle, I think, how the show ends.
Yeah, the fight in the last alliance of
Elves and Men. Yeah. That's probably gonna be like episode 7 of season 5, and then episode 8, just everything. We're so happy, we did it. Let's go destroy the ring. No. Anyway.
We did it! Yay! It's gonna happen again in like 1,000 years.
Yeah. What cowardice have I ever shown to make you believe I would
Oh, you
ever
like that
consider
line?
making save my own skin at the peril of yours? Is there anyone better than Elendil to lead men to the glory of Gondor? Because, dude, come on, he's the best. That's a wedding vow. Like I put, he just declared his love there. And he said, "No, my place is out there, or my place is here." So like, where's my place? Is not next to you, or something like. They just love each other.
Yep. Yep.
But that Earian, his daughter, trying to, I'm trying to save you. I was like, just leave me alone, you
Haven't you done
betrayer.
enough? Go back to your weird boyfriend.
Dude, I was so happy. I'm like, I haven't seen Kevin in a while. And then when he shows up, he just exactly. But yeah, see Narsil, the white flame. I know people don't like a lot of callbacks or people
What sword
everything.
is that?
Yeah. I loved it. I don't know.
But what sword
Don't
is
be,
it? Like I love this franchise. I love the story. I love the themes. I'm not really like
okay.
into like these names and things.
All right, after we finish this, you're gonna grab your copy of the
What sword is
Fellowship.
that? Just tell me.
That's the sword that cuts the ring of a Sauron's hand.
Oh, it's Isildur's sword. Well, no,
Yes.
it's Elendil's sword, and he takes. Okay. That's the one
So
from the prologue.
yeah, so Sauron breaks it, and then he cuts it with just a hilt and a little shard. And when they see it on Rivendell, wink, wink, Rivendell,
Oh,
there's it's the sword that cut the shards of Narsil, the sword that cuts the ring of Sauron's hand. I'm like, yes, finally, Narsil, which will get reforged
so
into Anduril.
then that's Aragorn's sword. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. I saw your tweet before I saw the show, and I was gonna quote retweet in the same way I did with that other thing, and like rewrite what was gonna happen, and I was gonna write something very similar to like, no, I love you. Oh, I love your boobs. Oh, by the way, here's that Aragorn sword. Link to the.
Yeah. Oh man. So that was great to see it there. Like finally, he got it. It's like Luke getting Anakin's lightsaber, but the other way around.
It's like Anakin getting Anakin's lightsaber.
Yeah. But it's gonna end up in. As I was saying it, like where it's the other way. But anyway, Isildur and Estrid, that other love story going on over there. Estrid doesn't know what's happening. She's trying to decide which guy she likes best.
Isildur's like that girl you meet who's a Republican and suddenly isn't.
spend a weekend abroad or something and change their perspective.
She's kind of progressive or something.
Yeah. So when you send Mormons, you know that Mormons can go out for about a week to see them when I come back. That's him. But the freaking Kemen arrives on Pelargir. Your friend, that's your Kemen and Theo on the same scene.
Why can't they just die together?
I don't know how you made it through that one. But Kemen's there. First, I'm so glad you're alive. I wanted to kill your dad, and now you're a traitor also. So shut up. Your girlfriend can come with us. Low men can come here. Get me some wood. It's just trees. Wink, winks. The ants are coming back.
It was kind of funny how he grabbed it. Oh, I always believe you were alive.
Freaking, it changed the way I thought this story was going to go, but that's for season 3 will be fine. Well, I'm going to change my tune. I know we talked about Theo. I said, will he be one of the ring rates? And you're like, don't make everyone important, which, okay, whatever.
Tony agrees with you, by the way.
Okay, I'm changing now. I think Kemen is going to be one of the ring rates.
That means he's gonna wait. The ring. I thought it was the old king, the one with the ghosts.
Yeah, so that's who I thought Theo was gonna be. And maybe
that's what Tony thinks.
Yeah, but I think Kemen is getting a ring. He's too of a coward to not get a ring.
For sure, he's getting a ring.
To finally say, now I can usurp my father. I have the power to do it. Like that means he won't die till thousands of years.
You know what? He'll probably be the one getting the rings and giving them out for favor.
I don't want to see his face again. He's such a smug.
He's a little bitch.
Oh, man. Someone who they wanted to turn into a bitch, but came out the other one was Celebrimbor. Let's talk about Sauron and Celebrimbor. We talked already at the beginning. How brutal was that scene of Sauron just shooting arrows at him? He's just laying there with about
So
six
random,
arrows.
like, oh, well, look what you did.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, just pulling that arrow down. Look what you've done to yourself. Like
I
gaslighter.
love those conversations between those two,
It's so much.
especially because of the gaslighting. Because it's the same thing he did to Galadriel in season one. Like,
Yeah.
you were the one who found me. You were the one who took me to
Yeah.
Numenor. I didn't want anything to do with this.
I want to
Uh,
stay in Numenor, just making swords. You told
yeah.
me I was a great king.
Oh yeah, you were the one who. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Brennan is in the chat. Hi, Brennan.
Hey, Brandon,
We're
thanks for
doing
being
well.
here.
So Celebrimbor, I love the dynamic between those two. Like it was so good, and at first I was like kind of I liked the whole thing of him being hypnotized and so full of himself that he
Yeah.
falls for Sauron. But I do love that arc of him breaking out of it,
Mhm.
and I love how he realized it in the previous episode
Mr. Mouse.
because of the mouse.
That candle trick was great. I'll give him that. Just marking the candle.
Yep. But yeah, man, it's sad. Celebrimbor is gone.
It's sad, but like I'm glad that he broke out of it. You know, from last episode to this one, to then go to that conversation we had at the beginning of kind of shooting back at Sauron, like, yeah, you might be this great person now. You think you're doing this to save me? No, you're just a lowly man. This is all you're doing. But then when he's forced to kill him after, oh, you're the Lord of the Rings, like take ownership of it. So Sauron has this tear come out of his face. He's crying there. I haven't seen the exact interview. Apparently, Charlie Vickers said it wasn't part of the script. He just did it there, like freaking first.
The guy got emotional.
Yeah. But what was he feeling at that point? Because it's not, oh, yes, finally, I'm the Lord of the Rings. I think he truly, like, even though he was gaslighting him and Galadriel season one, and he does it at the end, he truly believed that these two people could be his partners in what he wanted. He still believed that he wants to create a better Middle Earth by killing everyone if you don't do what I say. But I think there was also a sadness there in losing a friend. Even though he killed him, I think he felt some sadness. Celebrimbor was kind of, he understood me. We're both creators and architects.
He does. I mean, he knows Celebrimbor is the goat. Like,
yeah. And he has Fëanor Samur at the end. Freaking Sauron also stealing that.
well, he has to forge the thing.
Yeah, he has
the
to.
movie needs to happen.
The movie needs to happen. The books first. But yeah, it's like if only him and Galadriel would have listened. I think at that point it's like, what, I didn't want to kill you because I really wanted you to be part of this. That's the way I took it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm very fascinated how this show has managed to turn into, because I was not expecting this when we started watching it, to turn into a Sauron prequel story.
Yeah.
In many ways. And how they've taken, again, I'm a movie fan. I have the books, I have not read them. But how, if you watch the Lord of the Rings movies, Sauron is very abstract. He's not he really isn't there. He almost comes back in The Hobbit, and the Lord of the Rings, he's actually never even close to coming back. But here they've turned this big horn guy who inspired thousands of heavy metal songs into a human. And I do think that's fascinating. I'm obsessed with the idea that, and maybe the first episode changed that a little bit, but like Sauron was leaving, like he was done, and Galadriel sort of brings him back into it, but like seeing him as a person, and that's what you mentioned, like him actually thinking that Galadriel was gonna work with him and that Celebrimbor was gonna work with him, like I find it fascinating.
And it's, again, all the props to the writers and to the actors. Again, Charlie Vickers, I'll keep talking about him, because Anatar is such a different character from Halbrand from season one, but you still believe both of them and what they're trying to do. And by the end of this, when you get to Sauron, we'll see what happens with season 3. It's like 3 different characters that he's playing at the same time. But it's a character you know he's evil. you know he's gonna bad things. And we all like watching that. We all love Darth Vader and Palpatine. We love Sauron, even like even he never really shows up. But I don't say you empathize with him. You kind of understand a little bit. You wanna keep following his journey. And you wanna see where it goes to season 3. How's that Sauron? Because now we went through Halbrand in season 1. Season 2 was Anatar. Like now it's gonna be full on Sauron.
Yeah.
What's that character gonna be like?
I mean, and we'll see, because he does say a bunch of times that I have a lot of names, but I do like how you mentioned like Anatar. No, not Anatar. Halbrand was so much about inspiring hope in these people. Like he's gonna be the king. He's gonna be our savior.
Yeah.
Anatar was so much about. He was the Lord of the Gifts. This idea that just implanted in your brain, it's yours, and you do with it whatever you want. What I want. And now he's just a Dark Lord, and that's gonna be super fun to see.
It's gonna be great. So let's go. Next topic is just more Sauron, but we got Sauron with Adar, the Uruks, Galadriel. So first, Galadriel kind of gives herself up to Adar. She's brought to Adar. Adar's there, know his elf gloriousness, wearing Galadriel's ring. I'm like, ooh, who's this guy now? That's my Uruk name. I had an elf name that I didn't earn it. Let me earn it back. Like, who the hell is this guy? And I now want to know. Unfortunately, we won't, because Gilog killed him. But I also, at that point, it's like he's promising Galadriel, help me. I just gave you the ring. That's how much I trust you. Help me kill Sauron. We'll go. I'll take my Uruks. We'll go to Mordor. No more fighting. Everlasting peace. Well, then Gilog comes in.
Which just kind of shows us that those rings are all good. Which, by the way, Gandalf wears one. So
yeah. Which I want to see how that happens by the end of this.
Well, we probably will. Based on how everything went.
Yeah. But last week, because 2 weeks ago, we talked about who's going to kill Adar. Is it going to be Sauron? I thought Arondir was going to do it. Arondir didn't stand a chance last week.
Oh, he was alive.
He was alive. I mean, you knew he was, because the way they killed him last week.
I thought Tony was like, nah, he's probably alive. He's super dead. No, he's alive.
He got stabbed twice, so that elf regeneration works.
Yeah, elves are weird. I thought like when Galadriel got like hit, I was like, this doesn't make sense because she's in that thing.
She has to go.
But now I was buying. I was like, no, she's gone.
Almost. But last week I said, I think Adar is going to be killed by all the orcs. I think Sauron is going to talk to them. We already see some of the Glog and some of the other Uruks not really wanting to go there and die fighting all the elves. They wanted to retreat, so I thought that was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen like it did, so I'm glad it surprised me a little bit. It's like, no more, I'm sorry, and then stabs him. And the same thing that happened to Sauron at the beginning of the season, now all the orcs do to Adar. Just leave him there, just all dead. And then
No, I like them betraying him and the reason they betray him is because they stopped trusting him and his desire for war, and they saw him as a warmonger, and their solution is to go to a guy who's gonna,
kill them. 20 minutes later, he freaking killed them.
There's something about masses of people making stupid decisions regarding their leaders,
following one person
against their own interests. Whatever.
What was for my best interest was watching Sauron and Galadriel go toe to toe fighting. I love the way Sauron used the helmet as a defensive weapon and a way to fight, to block all the shots. The way that was shot was great, just going back and forth, falling over the little kind of hills. Him Kim saying, I wish to heal Middle Earth.
Heal yourself.
Oh, that freaking ending. Just heal yourself, and she kicks the crap out of him. I love that Sauron, that they went toe to toe, that it wasn't like 50-50%. Like Sauron was still obviously dominating that fight because he's so unbelievably powerful. But also love that Galadriel was able to take those shots in, especially when when she hits his ego first, like heal yourself, and then goes into the offensive.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that just changing appearances to again gaslight her until this is all your fault, changing to Halbrand, changing again to Galadriel and repeating the same lines from season one, then changing to Celebrimbor, like all this is your fault. Like you mentioned, just let me go stay Numenor. I was gonna be happy. Just putting all this back in her head, blaming her, and then a little bit of a Raylo vibe when the door is still open, and she's like, "Nah, the door is shut." And then
Yep.
gets stabbed by the crown, which was pretty nasty to see. Just your
Yeah, and
thoughts on
that
that
wound.
scene. Oh, it's fascinating. It's like watching Kemen. How do you feel about Kemen? Look at Galadriel's wound. That's what Kemen makes me feel like.
The same way I feel about Galadriel's wound.
uh, and then I love the line. I caught parts of it. I didn't have time to write it, but Sauron saying, "I would have placed a crown over your head and not rest until they worship the light of its queen." I still believe or wanted Galadriel to join him because together we could heal Middle Earth. And that's when she goes, no, she said, "Heal yourself." No, that's, I think, when she says, no, she says, "Heal yourself," when she jumps with the ring, kind of like
Yeah.
Elrond did before. But he has the nine. He grabbed the nine when after he stabbed her. Glog comes running. "Oh, they're over. The dwarves are here. We gotta do something." Slag, you're dead.
You're dead.
Well, yeah,
That fight was really cool.
it was great. But it's like you said at the beginning, it's not just a cool scene. It's like there's intention behind this. All the conversation that's happening as the fight is going that makes it more impactful.
Yep.
And then kind of starting to wrap up, the elves survive. The siege of Eregion is still going on after like an episode and a half. They're doing the library of Alexandria, burning all of Celebrimbor's work. Elrond's like, "Kill me, kill me, don't burn all that stuff, all that knowledge."
Yep.
But the dwarves come finally to help
Finally.
Gil-galad. Finally. Durin will come. Durin will come.
That was so heartbreaking.
Yeah. But yeah, we got that scene. Arondir's still alive, and they find Galadriel. They saw her falling, all the white falling from 30 miles away, but I guess elves' eyes can see.
They are superior to humans, Alberto. That's why they stayed on Middle Earth.
Yeah. Elrond uses a ring. The whole season is like, we can't use those rings. They're being corrupted. We can't trust it. Gil-galad is trying to heal Galadriel with his ring. He said, "I can't. It's too far. She's too far gone," basically. And then it reminds me of episode 1 of Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings, when Arwen takes Frodo. This is past my skill to heal. We gotta take him to my father, Elrond, and then Elrond is the one that heals Galadriel here. So I love that shot of him putting the ring on, like trusting, I guess, or believing that the only way to save his friend is by trusting the rings. That, of course, Galadriel has been telling him the whole season. They're all pure, and here we find that. So,
but he had reason to believe they weren't, and Galadriel hasn't been very sane. So, yeah, that was cool, and we get a reveal.
A non-reveal reveal. So, where are we? We're in a safe place, or we're in a haven protected by the rings. This lush green forest in the mountains with waterfalls going down the side. I'll be honest, I'm not gonna say here, I clocked it right away. I didn't know. It's people online saying it, and then in the behind the scenes that they do after the episode, those little 10 minutes, I think they also mentioned it that it's Rivendell.
So. They confirmed it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, Rivendell is there. Great, finally, a great refuge for the elves.
We got a bunch of reveals this episode.
And let's talk about the last reveal. And I'll say this is the only part that I was a little bit underwhelmed. Unfortunately, it's
I have issues.
It's the whole Nori Stranger Dark Wizard plot line. Kind of started strong the first couple of episodes, then dropped, and to me again, underwhelmed with it. They meet the Dark Wizard, kind of comes out of the corner. Yeah, oh, you don't want to join me? I'm gonna hurt your friends. Then come find me afterwards. Bye. Like, wait, we've been building the whole season, and and then the one he just stumbles across it. I know Nori had it, but she just kind of dropped it. It's not something that she gave him. I don't know. That whole scene seemed kind of a mishmash. All in all, I don't know. It was fine, but I had so much riding on it. It just kind of felt, nah. All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, I that's not my favorite part of the show. It it dragged in season one. It kind of dragged in season two, and the thing I liked the least was this. I don't know. It kind of felt like a loop to me, in the sense that it's a very similar thing that happened in the first season. Only they just made a different choice, because at the end of season one he was leaving and she was staying, and then she goes with him, and now he's leaving and she's staying. So I don't know. Like, again, I don't hate that plot line. I'm sure it's gonna come back, but like, not my favorite.
Yeah. My guess biggest problem is that I really like that plot line coming out of season one. I love the
Mhm.
dynamic. I was extremely emotional with that final scene happening in season one.
Mhm.
And it started fine in season two. The first few episodes, it was okay. And I was waiting for something here, especially the confrontation with this dark wizard. Who is it gonna be? He reveals that there were 5 wizards that came down, which is,
Yep.
yeah, those are the 5 wizards. Are they teasing him to be Saruman? Possibly. This is where I go. I really don't want him to be Saruman. But at
Mhm.
this point, I don't know who else it can be, unless they say it's one of the blue elves that we really don't know anything about. But the blue
Blue
elves aren't
Wizards.
evil. Sorry, blue wizard. Thanks.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's like,
he doesn't seem like a good guy.
no, no. He wants to overthrow Sauron to then take his place. It's something that the stranger was in 2 minutes will just call him Gandalf. Can say, I don't want to be Sauron's successor. I don't want to be with him. Say, oh, if you're not gonna help me, I'm just gonna hurt your friends, and this is what's gonna happen to Middle Earth. Okay, come talk to me later. And he goes, and then that's it. And then he finds this staff. Oh yeah, I'll take this staff. It's kind of cool. Of course, it looks like Gandalf, the Grand Elf, like we mentioned. Like always, go Grand Elf, Grand Elf. He goes back, finds.
You caught it, Alberto.
I
I
got
was
it.
a bit dismissive of it.
Yeah. You always are. Um, he goes and find. I do love Tom Bombadil. I hope we get. I thought we were done with him. Hopefully, we'll get more in season 3. He's,
Mhm.
oh, they're gonna Gandalf. That's what they're gonna call me. He's like, okay, you got your name, you got your staff. Now the song can begin. I love that part. Like, okay, now you're. It's like Yoda or Obi-Wan going to look. Now you're ready to train as a Jedi. So okay, now let the song begin. They sit down, sing a cool song. It kind of the episode doesn't end there, but kind of our talk on it. But just finishing up, I love that this, even though the season and especially this episode was, oh, we lost, like all of us lost, it still ended on a high hopeful note with Gil Galad kind of, no, no, we're not gonna just sit back and prepare defenses. We're gonna fight. Just push
Mhm.
the sword off, the music crescents, and then all the remaining elves are just going crazy. So I love that final shot that we got. Perfect ending to the season.
Yeah, I really liked it. Like, it gave me the chills. The music was great. Yeah, I love the episode, Alberto. I loved it.
All right, Oti, any final thoughts on season 2 as a whole?
No, it took a while for me to like jump
Hmm.
into it, but it's fine. Like, I was patient with it, and the show rewarded me for it.
Yeah,
And that's the kind of thing you like to see as a fan, actually. Like,
yeah. I
trusting a
mean,
property and have it reward you for
uh,
trusting it.
trust in the process, right? Trust the property, trust
Trust
the
it.
people behind them. Yeah. Final